Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate your putting together this hearing. I also want to thank our two colleagues, my long-time friends, Senator Feinstein, Senator Sullivan. Great to see you. And please excuse my bad manners. I have to depart the instant I give this statement, but I very much appreciate your being here, and I'm anxious to work with both of you on this. The first bill that the chairman has talked about, the Frank Moore Wild Steelhead Sanctuary designation, is a tribute to one of America's great heroes and to a very special place in Oregon. Frank Moore is a native Oregonian, a World War II veteran, whose extraordinary service earned him several honors, including the French Legion of Honor Award, that's France's highest military honor, as well as a citation from the United States for, quote, extraordinarily and exemplary performance of military duty while in combat. The war took Frank all over Europe, but once it ended, he came right back to Oregon and to his wonderful family and his beloved rivers. He is a legendary presence on the North Umpqua River, where he can be found most days. In fact, I recently visited with Frank and family just a few months ago on the banks of the North Umpqua. He knows every bend and rock of this river, the river he grew up in, and during his 91 years, he has contributed to a rich legacy of conservation and respect for nature that I think really sets the standard for future generations. He's worked tirelessly to conserve Oregon's fish habitats and rivers. He served on the State of Oregon Fish and Wildlife Commission, receiving both the National Wildlife Federation Conservationist of the Year Award and the Wild Steelhead Coalition Conservation Award. The Frank Moore Wild Steelhead Sanctuary designation is going to ensure that this area, the waterways and the forests, is managed in a way that protects delicate steelhead habitat and river ecosystems. And it serves as a tribute to Frank's many outstanding accomplishments, both on and off the river. The other bill, the Mount Hood-Cooper Spur Land Exchange Clarification Act, is what I hope to be the final step in completing a land exchange that passed as part of the Omnibus Public Lands Bill 6 years ago. I remember like it was yesterday. I think Senator Feinstein remembers how we worked for years, and then President Obama, having been sworn in fairly shortly after that, signed the Public Lands Bill. It was a historic occasion, and here we are 6 years later still trying to get a land exchange that passed as part of it. The Cooper Spur Land Exchange was one of 3 land exchanges included in the Mount Hood Wilderness legislation, which I sponsored here in the Senate, but it is the only one that has not been completed. This land exchange is now 62 months past due, and progress is stalled. The delays have angered the public, endangered the environment, spurred a lawsuit against the Forest Service, and I will just say to my colleagues as we go forward in this committee, as we always have on a bipartisan way, it is time to get this done. 62 months to wait for something like this is by any standards just absurd. And I'm looking forward to working with my colleagues on this. The bill before the subcommittee today would clarify provisions in the original land exchange to ensure that the process can move forward in a timely fashion. It includes clarifications and concrete deadlines that will remove any uncertainty about the intent of the original bill. I'll have a few questions to submit in writing for the Forest Service about how we can get their thoughts on how to move forward, finalize the land exchange. I look forward to their testimony. Again, I want to apologize to my two colleagues. I know that Senator Feinstein has spent an enormous amount of time on the bill that she is going to be talking to, and as usual, she is somebody who really writes legislation in a thoughtful and fastidious way. So I'll be following up, and I want to apologize to both my colleagues for having to leave.